the degree of globalization, or deglobalization, as some want it to be, is something that emerging market companies and countries sort of adapt to a certain degree. I mean, if you think who were the winners of globalization in this last era, you would argue to a lot of the developed market multinationals were the winners of that globalization, right? They were with the higher R&D, marketing skills. Nestle, all these big companies were very effective in penetrating emerging markets and enhancing their returns. And you will argue at the same time that in the staples and consumer staples, the EM companies were the losers of that. At the same time, workforce, you would say the developed market workforce was the loser of that because a lot of the jobs move, and the emerging markets middle class was the winner of that. Well, we are in a process of sort of readjusting this, and I think what we see in the policies of America First, the issues with trade, all this is sort of calling for their readjustment. What I see optimism in this is I don't see sort of markets closing and everybody all becoming very insular. I see companies adapting and the business models adapting to this. No longer can emerging markets be the supplier of cheap labor to the world, because that is not sustainable and it's not good for the employees, and it doesn't create middle classes that are sustainable when all you do is produce, I don't know, an iPhone that costs $1,000 is $6 of labor or something historic. That has to change, and that is changing, and that creates consumers that can be sustainable in emerging markets. At the same time, not all the consumer opportunities need to be tapped by the big developed market companies. That's what I was talking about, the discretionaries. There are areas of the consumer when the local companies are very equipped to understand that. So in that sense, well, you don't need to be globalized in that sense. You don't need to hit the big brand. You need to have a brand that really understands the consumer in your space. So there are all these adaptations of how the companies in trade, in understanding what is the competitive advantage, can be leaders in a world that is in this process of readjustment of how globalized or deglobalized is going to get.